Okay. We good?
Yes.
All right. Hello and welcome as the National Association of FHA Consultants presents the 203K in a Box All Power Teams call for February 2017. This is your 203K night. Michael Dorn coming to you live from Florida. We thank you all for joining us. We're going to be getting started in just a few minutes. I want to make sure everyone can hear me. If you can, either say yes or raise your hand.
I can
Yes.
hear you.
All right, I see some hands and people saying they can hear me. This call will be an open mic session, and everyone will be able to discuss and put in their goals and everything for the going into the future. We will get started in just a few minutes. And good evening, Queen Catherine. How are you tonight?
Good evening, Michael. Way to go. Good job, Mike. Didn't he do a great job, everyone, for his first time out as introducing our webinar? So way to go. Thank you, Mike. So we're going to have a great meeting. We are recorded. We are recording, and there we go. We've got everything's running. So welcome, everyone, to the All Power Team webinar for February 2017. This is your 203K Queen, Catherine Hall, and I just wanted to personally welcome you. Thank you all today for being here. You're looking at my office, and right next to my desk in the back is my treadmill. So sometimes when we're having a webinar, I'm having an audio call with some of you. I'm actually doing it on the treadmill. So we're going to turn off the video cam. I just wanted to say hi to everybody. It seems like the audio is a little second or so, half a second behind my voice. So I'm going to turn that off and stop sharing my webcam. For now, I may turn it back on again. But what I wanted to do right now is I want to show you my screen. So I'm going to share my screen, and what we're going to talk about today is what's new in 2017. So now I'm going to close that screen, and what you're looking at is a whole bunch of tabs that I'm going to be going over for the next 30 minutes. And then following that 30-minute time frame, I want to have every one of you should be prepared, alphabetical order by first letter of first name, so you know who you are. And I'm going to ask you to share your focus points. I want you to share any kind of challenges that you're having. If you're having a question about Genesis, don't hesitate to ask it, because who knows, that question you have about Genesis might be a question that someone else has about Genesis as well. And more people are starting to work with Genesis. We have lots of people everywhere. Whoops, I took my glasses off to wipe them. Excuse me. You guys don't recognize me without them. More and more people are using Genesis every day, and they're finding there's a learning curve, and with that learning curve comes some frustration. So I want you all not to be afraid to voice those frustrations. We're here to help you be successful. And so this is the All Power Team webinar. It's your time to voice any kind of questions that you have, go over any issues that you need to be discussing with us. It's an open mic. So what that means is every one of you, you don't have to raise your hand. You don't have to do anything. You can just simply say, hey, excuse me, Catherine, I have a question about this. If it's something that I'm talking about, please, this is an open forum, and I want it to be as interactive as possible, okay? So just want to give you that heads up. This is for you. This is your session, just like the tech call, just like the one-on-one coaching calls that all of you most of you have access to. Several of you have already had private one-on-one calls this week. One person who I don't think is on the call, he just called me up on my cell phone just, while I was waiting for another call to ask me a quick question, answered his question. 5 minutes later, he was done. So don't hesitate to reach out. We're here for you, okay? So let's begin with what's new in 203K. So basically, the first and most important benefit of the 203K program right now is the fact that the loan limits have increased. All right, so HUD has increased the maximum loan limits, and all of you have access to be able to look at what the loan limit is for your specific area, and all you have to do is type in FHA maximum loan limits, and then any kind of a web page that starts with ENTP is going to be one that is managed and created by HUD. So when I go to the one that says ENTP, and I just copied that URL, and I'm going to paste it into the chat box for you right now so you all can actually see it.
Excellent.
We'll open up. There it is. I'm pasting that message in the chat box, so now you all have access to that link. There you go. So you can copy and paste that link into your own browser. That actually is a link that's on my desktop. So what you can do is, you don't need to put it in by all states. You want to put your own state in there. So we'll play with my state, Pennsylvania. And I'm just going to stick a county that I do a whole lot of work with. All right. And what we're looking for is the FHA forward. FHA forward, not the Fannie Freddie, but the Fannie Freddie numbers have also gone up. Okay? So, if you hit send, okay? So, a single-family residence, you can see here, the rates are $275,665 for a single-family residence. All right, and what that also means is, oops, making sure that dashboard goes up. Perfect. Okay, let me put that back in there. All right, great. So you can see here that $275,665 is for a single-family residence. $352 is for a two-family, up to $530 for a four-family. And you can see in the high cost limits it's as much as $1.2 million. And for the National Housing Act, the mortgage limits for certain states, Alaska, Guam, Hawaii, and the Virgin Islands may be adjusted to up to 150% of the ceiling. So now it's very interesting because I have a new member who just joined us who is in Hawaii. So he actually can do a single-family 203K mortgage for up to $954,000 to a four-family max of almost $2 million, $1.8 million. That just tells you how expensive these areas. So Alaska, our members in Alaska, you guys have some really nice numbers now to play with. Now, granted, housing is expensive, but this is where you're going to work with. The FHA insured loans limits are these. The high cost area limits are subject to the ceiling on the percent of the Freddie Mac loans. In other words, if you are in a high cost area like Newark, New Jersey, or Manhattan, New York, or Los Angeles, or any of those areas where you couldn't buy a garage for $200, an unheated garage for $275, right, Oni? So here your maximum loan limit is up to $636,000. Now, this is something that you need to be mindful of because a lot of people have thought that they were supposed to go to the Fannie Freddie numbers. Now, let's just look backwards a little bit. Let's go down to the calendar year 2016 for the FHA forward. Okay, so now it was $271.50 for 2016. And now it's $275, so it's gone up by $4,000. So that's a nice increase, and this is something that you should be letting people know. This is the kind of information that you want to share with your lenders, with your real estate professionals, to let them know that 203Ks are viable and popular. And here's the proof. The loan limits have gone up. This is something that you want to be mindful of, that the loan limits have increased. All right, so the second thing that a lot of you are asking yourself, and this relates to whether or not you should spend the time and effort to get your skill level up in Genesis or not, because I understand there's a pain of change. With change comes pain, okay? There's always a learning curve in any kind of a situation. Think back, if you can, to how long it took you to get totally comfortable when you started your first home inspection software, or when you changed to a computer-based software. Or raise your hand if you remember how much time and effort it took you to fully get up to speed to using ISN. How many of you are using ISN and remember how difficult that first few months was getting started? Okay, you remember it took you, and that's why they give you 2 months free, because in some cases people don't even start using it because they're like, oh, this is too hard for me to work on. I can't figure it out. I'm just going to leave it alone for a while. And because they had 2 months free, they figured, okay, they finally got around to doing it because they said, oh, well, in a little while, that 2 month free is going to go away, so I guess I better hurry up and get it done. okay? And so some of you are stating that you have an office manager who does all that, and that's great, and that's one of the reasons why we made Genesis the way we did, was because many times people are going to have a back office person doing 80% of the work that they have in Genesis. I did 2 draws today, and both of the draws, the contractor had already submitted the signed paperwork with his and the borrower's signatures on them. The numbers matched when I got out to the field. I didn't even print off the order. I just took my tablet with me with the Genesis on it, and I have built-in Wi-Fi, opened up the draw, looked at the numbers, compared it. Then I just basically sent a Skype message to my assistant saying, drop my signature in, these are ready to go. And here's the photos, because the photos went in through camera upload through Dropbox. So we are working on becoming a paperless society, and Genesis is trying to be the leader in 203K as far as paperless goes. And so what we want you to know is our motto for Genesis is, Genesis Rehab Software, the 203K option when you want to get it done right. Okay, so if you want to get it done right, if you want to get it done fast, this is the option you're going to learn. And when you do, you'll be very comfortable. So why should you put yourself through the trouble of doing that? Well, there's a lot of things in the news about 203K, and one of the biggest ones is this. Homebridge Mortgage, let me just close this here, okay? Homebridge Mortgage just bought out Prospect Mortgage. How many of you knew that? Raise your hand. Nobody. All right. How many of you didn't know that? Raise your hand. All right. That's a little better. Remember, go ahead and just say I did or I didn't. Just talk. You guys are open mic today.
I did.
Who knew that?
Tom Kruger.
You knew that. How did you know that, Tom?
Somewhere along the line, I was doing some investigative work, looking at who to go talk to, and I came across the fact that Homebridge, who I've done work for, was buying out Prospect.
Exactly. And this is an article that was 2 days ago, all right, so it can't be more current than this. And right here, this is a very important passage right here. Whoops. Homebridge will also become the country's largest originator of 203K renovations loan with more than twice the production of its nearest competitor. Who here wants to tell me who their nearest competitor is?
It used to be the Prospect, who they just bought out.
Well, actually, Prospect was not. It used to be Wells Fargo. Prospect was second to Wells Fargo, and Homebridge was third. It was Wells Fargo, Prospect, and then Homebridge. So now that Homebridge has brought Prospect, they now have double the volume of Wells Fargo. And how many of you remember about, let's see, the beginning of last year or the end of the year before, the end of 2015, right after the 4000.1 came out, how many of you remember me saying Prospect Mortgage had a goal to be the largest 203K lender in the country? Anyone remember me saying that?
Yes.
Okay, so by being bought out by Homebridge, they are accomplishing that goal in less than 2 years. Now, Homebridge would not have made this a priority for them to buy a lender whose focus was on 203K if they didn't have a total investment in making 203K one of their biggest mortgage products. Okay, so Homebridge Mortgage is making 203K one of their jewels in their crown. This is going to be their biggest push, is to increase their activity in the 203K market. This is the kind of article that you want to share on your website, on your Facebook page. We're going to be putting this on the NAFAC site tomorrow morning. So then I want you, and you're going to all get it if you're on the if you're connected to us on Facebook on NAFAC. You want to share this and repost it to your database and say, you know, Tom Kruger or Oni, you're in California, so you could say California welcomes Homebridge as the nation's biggest 203K lender, and congratulations on your acquisition. We'd love to work with any of the Prospect/Homebridge loan officers in our area here to really help take over this market, you know, help improve the exposure to 203K in the industry. So this is something that they are going to have nearly 3,000 full-time loan officers. And with that kind of number, with that much overhead, with that much payroll to do, they need these loans. And so they're delighted that HUD has increased the maximum loan limit. and other things have taken place in the market right now that make this a really very exciting thing to take place. So what's the next point that I want to share with you all? The next point I want to share with you is this. People are trying to decide what type of loan to use. More and more people are going to be turning to the home style rehab loan. Once again, this was just recently posted. People are wondering which one, how do I choose between the two? I believe, raise your hand if you have been asked to do a Fannie Mae home style. Yeah, a couple of you have. And matter of fact, some of you have projects that actually go from being a 203K and flip to a Fannie Mae because of the reduction in, in restrictions and requirements necessary to qualify for the Fannie Mae. So here's the thing that HUD has made a change. HUD has just made a new change, which is going to be great. What we're going to talk about is here's one of the important things that HUD has changed just as of this year, okay? And I did verify it when I read this article. I wasn't sure. Here's something really cool. HUD now states that a borrower only has to live in the property for 12 months. It is no longer for the life of the 203K loan. It used to be that as long as they held the 203K, they had to stay living in the property. Now they can, at the end of 1 year, they can sell that, they can rent that property out and make it an investment property. So they can buy a home that may not be in the neighborhood they truly want to live in, get it fixed up using the 203K, get a tenant in that home after 1 year, build up their credit, build up some revenue, make sure they have the mortgage paid by the tenant, and then they can go buy another home where they want to live, and now they're real estate investors. And this is how they can begin as real estate investors. So how many of you here see an opportunity to market using this feature alone now? Okay, this is something amazingly new to tell people in your community. Guess what? You don't have to stay in it for the life of the loan, just 12 months. As a matter of fact, the person who wrote this article, Heather Turner, and I don't know exactly who she is, but she made this quote, I always say, or whoever he is, I always say that the 203K loan is the entry loan to becoming a property investor because FHA requires you to live in the home for 1 year. But then it can be turned into a rental or sold for a return, and the owner can move on to another property. Okay? Also, how many of you, by a show of hands, or just basically saying I, how many of you knew and market the fact that FHA 203K loans are assumable, and so that it can be taken over when selling the property and increasing in times where the interest rates go up? How many of you knew that? So anybody who's concerned about the interest rates going up, this is a great thing to also tell your clients. Well, you know what? If you do a 203K now and you're saying you want to sell the home in the future, you won't have to be concerned about if interest rates are raised by the current administration, because anyone who you want to sell this home to can assume your existing mortgage at the current rate. And that will make it even more of an attractive product for you to be able to offer. I gave a real estate office presentation last week, and in that presentation I talked about the assumable nature of the 203K loan as something new that real estate agents can talk about to their past clients. Hey, you have a home, you had a home inspection by me, because I'm marketing my home inspection company at the same time. So I'm saying, so you go back to your clients, you say, you know what, remember the home inspection we had done? Remember there were things on it that the inspector said would need to be repaired or replaced within 2 to 3 years? Well, that plus a whole lot of other repairs and upgrades and improvements you can get now with the 203K refi, possibly even getting lower interest rates than what you have that you paid when you bought the house. And if interest rates go up and you want to sell the home, there's no worry, because all that mortgage is going to be a 100% assumable by the future owner. So this is something that you want to be mindful of as you're going around talking and marketing. I had a really successful coaching call today with Dave King, and Dave talked about how his company wants him to go out and market to lenders, and I said, Dave, don't wait until you think you know everything, because you never will. But guess what? You do know a person who knows a whole lot. And who would that be?
Catherine.
There you go. Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay? So this is another article that just came out, people trying to choose between Fannie Mae and FHA. So here's the cool part. There's a lot of options with FHA, and as you can see, with the Fannie Mae home style, you have to put down 10%. With the 203K, you only have to put down 3.5%. There's a feature right there. So what else about 203K that's in the news? Whoops. I was looking at that's reverse mortgage. Okay, I am talking right now, the reverse mortgage I was going to bring up later, but I'll go ahead and do it since the slide is there. I'm working with a lender who is specializing in reverse mortgages, and what I'm doing is I am encouraging the people who are getting these reverse mortgages to invest in their property some of the funds that they're getting from this reverse mortgage, to take the money from the reverse mortgage and use it to repair their homes. That way, here's what happens with the reverse mortgage. Would anyone like to know a brief synopsis of what a reverse mortgage is? Raise your hand.
I would.
Okay, perfect. Okay. Well, here's what a reverse mortgage is. The reverse mortgage is a loan that is assuming it works best. It works 100% best if you're talking about a homeowner who has no mortgage. They own the home outright, and they basically have 100% equity in the property. So with that being said, what a reverse mortgage does, a reverse mortgage basically puts a lien on the property and says, we're going to give you money. And they can either get the money as a line of credit that they can dip into as they want to, or they can get a lump sum amount of money. Either way, they can choose to make monthly payments on that loan of any amount of money, even down to zero. If they feel they have some resources and want to pay down the reverse mortgage, they can do so. If they don't, they can defer the entire loan until they vacate the property at their death. And what this does is, at the death of the homeowner, if it's a primary homeowner, if whoever is on the mortgage is the homeowner. So if there's a spouse, the spouse is on the title, but he is not on the mortgage, the spouse will be subject to the same conditions as any of the other heirs for the property. So we're just going to assume we have a single homeowner, and they have 100% equity, they own a property, and they have $200,000 of equity in the property. They take $100,000 of that out in the reverse mortgage. They use it to pay medical bills due to a catastrophic illness. Or what we're trying to encourage people who don't need to use it for that kind of a situation, we're saying put some of the money back in your house, upgrade your major systems, refresh up your kitchen and bathrooms, do the things that will make the house more attractive when it does come time to sell. So then the homeowner passes away, and now the bank holds the only mortgage on the home, a $100,000 mortgage. So the heirs to the mortgage can either buy out the lender, in other words, get another mortgage, or have, if they have $100,000 cash, more power to them. Why didn't they give it to their mother? But they can get another mortgage and buy out the first position of the reverse mortgage lender, or if they decide that they wish to sell the asset, when they sell the property, the reverse mortgage lien holder gets the first cut of the money. So if they sell the house, and if the total amount of the reverse mortgage was $200,000 and the home is worth $210,000, and they get $210,000, that's after closing costs, etc., then the reverse mortgage lien holder gets $200,000 and the heirs get $10,000. But what if we have a property that's worth $200,000 in its current condition? They take $100,000 out in the reverse mortgage. They use that money to do a 203K style rehab. In other words, a consultant comes out, identifies a scope of work, helps them select contractors, and the borrower pays the contractor directly through the funds of the reverse mortgage under the oversight of a consultant who gets paid to do draw inspections directly for that homeowner. So everything is the same as the 203K, only difference is it's the homeowner who decides what they want to get done. The homeowner pays the contractor directly. There's no HUD involvement. It's just their money. But we guide and direct them on what should be done to improve the property, so that then this homeowner gets to enjoy all these wonderful features, the central air conditioning they put in, the new carpet or hardwood. They get to enjoy a beautiful upgraded kitchen, a more readily handicapped accessible bathroom facility, or whatever they do to make their home more enjoyable to meet their needs. They must live in the home, so they cannot move in with their daughter and rent the home to someone else, that must be their primary permanent residence. So at the point where they become incapacitated and can no longer live in the home and they have to go into a nursing home, or they pass away, then the reverse mortgage would kick in and take possession of the property for the value, or the heirs could buy it out from them. Either way, how many of you would agree that if they spent some of that reverse mortgage capital into improvements into the property, that when the homeowner does pass away, their heirs would be able to get more money for the home and not feel so much of a loss at the fact that their family took a reverse mortgage? How many agree with that? So this is a way to help explain a reverse mortgage and the uses of the reverse mortgage to a homeowner and their family to get them more comfortable with the reverse mortgage option. You have to understand, mortgage lenders who market reverse mortgages, they have a hard job, because it's not so much the homeowner who puts up a fight. Who do you think puts up a fight to mom or dad getting a reverse mortgage?
The kids.
Thank you. The kids. Because they're thinking, oh, I'm not going to get my $200,000 when mom dies. Well, maybe you should help mom fix the house up while she's living, and you could get the whole $200,000. But if mom's house has been left in severe disrepair, and we've all seen that, haven't we, where the home is in very serious disrepair, this is where it can come in. I'm sorry?
I was going to say $200,000. You might be lucky if you got $180,000.
Exactly. So I spoke to a reverse mortgage lender, and he was very, very excited about this opportunity, and we're planning a workshop in April for homeowners and their families to discuss the opportunities of reverse mortgage now and in the future. And so that's what we're going to be working on. So now, how many of you think that this is something that you could talk about to a reverse mortgage lender in your market? And how many of you also think that you would really enjoy working in a loan that doesn't have to worry about closing, doesn't have to worry about appraisals, the money is right there in the bank, and you're just helping the borrower decide when and how much to give to a client, and they cut you the checks right away out of the escrow account?
Not a bad idea.
Thank you. So to me, this is one more way being an FHA consultant can make you money. So now, what else is going on in FHA? Right here. This was January 26th. More first-time home buyers are open to renovation loans. Once again, this is going on the NAFAC Facebook page. How many of you would like to put this article in your Facebook page? All right? You see, people think that nobody's talking about it. You don't think that they're talking about it because you're not looking for who's talking about it. So how do you find out who's talking about a 203K loan? It is very, very simple. All you have to do is type into Google 203K in the news, and then you hit news. And every day you'll get fresh content. Here we go right down here. Whoops. 12 hours ago, completed foreclosures fell in 2016. The FHA 203K loan program provides home buyers the opportunity to buy and fix up a property without exhausting their personal savings. And now that completed foreclosures falling, okay, this is good for us to do 203Ks. So this is something that you need to be mindful of. There's a lot of news out there about this. And so here you can see an article. It says, across the board, an influx of first-time homebuyers turning to renovation loans such as Fannie Mae Homestyle or the 203K, something they may not have imagined as an option in the past. They're seeing they can get more for their money and get into a better living space that is more customized to their taste, customized to what their taste may be, or that is more up to date. So also the opportunity, here you see an article, lending is hot and getting hotter. All right, so this is an article from last year, but it's very pertinent because this is what's happening in our market. Everyone is focusing on ways to make a dollar stretch more, and with the higher loan limits of Fannie Mae, of FHA, excuse me, with the fact that you no longer have to live in the loan forever, but can make it an investment property in as little as 12 months. And how long does the typical 203K rehab project take?
4 to 5 months.
4 to 5, or more like 6.
6.
Okay? So now with that being said, 6 months, so then all they have to do is live in the property for how many more months after it's been repaired?
6.
6? And then they can rent it out or sell it. Actually, they can refinance or sell the property after 6 months. Okay? So they can make that, they can do that for after 6 months. So now, do these articles spark your interest? Because to me, it gives me a great incentive to really let people know what is happening in the renovation lending industry and why they need to work with me as a NAFAC certified consultant. For those of you who are diamond and gold and silver level members, I really would encourage you to listen to the bonus content for the month of March. And I'm going to ask Chad to explain the situation when it's his turn to give his focus points and successes for last month, because this is something that is really exciting that he did. So now, it is 9:30, and I want to open up the floor. We're going to start alphabetically by first name, and before we do that, I'm going to open up Genesis. Okay, so we have had a series of webinars recently, and for those of you who are silver, gold, or diamond level members, every second Thursday morning of the month, we have a Power Team Tech web conference call. For the year of 2017, what we have done is we have broken down the entire 203K process into its smallest parts. And with those small parts, what we're doing is every single month we are analyzing and describing what those activities are and how they will affect you with the Genesis software. So for the January Success Tech call, we talked about the pre-inspection process, and we went over what to do, what documents to use, how to import orders from ISN, and how to be able to set up the paperwork you need to use when you go out to a property. For the month of February's Tech call, which was last Thursday morning at 8 to 9:30 a.m. sharp, we went over what to do when you get to the property, what to look at, what to take with you, what forms you should have. And we also talked about how to convert a project from a home inspection to a 203K. So we talked about how to evaluate a property and what to do to talk to the client about what's going on in the home and what your expectations should be moving forward. For March, for the second Thursday morning in March, we're going to be talking about the creation of the preliminary work write-up. We're going to talk about cost estimating. We're going to go over deciding whether or not something is mandatory, recommended, or desired. And we're also going to talk about how to deliver the reports through ISN. So this is all very important information that you all have access to. So I would like to ask everyone today who is a diamond, gold, or silver level member, can I please ask you to give me your commitment that after the call tonight, you will go into whatever calendaring program you have and block off on your calendar for Thursday morning, March 8th, 8 to 9:30 a.m.
Actually, Your Majesty, I hate to interrupt you, but you'll actually be in Memphis, Tennessee for Thursday, March 9th. So the tech call has been rescheduled to March 2nd.
Friday?
No, Thursday.
Thursday, March 2nd? Is it Thursday?
Yes, correct.
Oh, okay. Thursday, March 2nd. Okay. So
I want to make sure you're looking at the right calendar because you said Thursday, March 8th.
This calendar. I'm throwing it away right now. There, it's thrown away. All right.
Yeah. So the very next tech call is Thursday, March 2nd.
Thank you, Samantha. And Samantha, I didn't know you were on the call. Hey, everybody.
Here.
Samantha is having her baby next week.
Yes, I am. It's my last call until April.
So
congratulations.
Thank you.
Obviously, I'll be posting pictures. I'll be posting pictures, and we will be going. I won't even be seeing the baby till after March 8th, actually.
Right, you'll be in Memphis.
I'll be in Memphis. Yeah, I'll be in Memphis.
The Duchess will wait.
March the 2nd, yeah, the Duchess Savannah. So March the 2nd, can I ask you to raise your hand if you will, after we finish this call, or even now, go into your calendar program and block off 8 to 9:30 a.m. on Thursday, March the 2nd, Eastern Standard Time. It's one morning. You can move your inspections down by 1 hour. This is useful, valuable information that will help you be more comfortable with your use of the Genesis Rehab software. Watching me do it, being able to go walk along on your own is the best way to get success in the Genesis program. So We're going to start off with, there's been a couple comments posted in the question box, and so I'm going to leave those comments for when that specific person is up, but I always make him have to go last. I always make him have to go last. So even though we're going to start alphabetically from the beginning of the alphabet to the end, since he always usually has to go last, I'm going to let Vince Vargas go first. Vince, are you there? Vince, are you there?
No, boy, I'm here. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. So now Vince posted a question, and I'm going to read his question out for him, and then Vince, you can share any additional comments on that question. So anytime you write a question, ladies and gentlemen, it shows up in a nice box here. So you can see here, done. Dave King is posted for March 2nd, 2017, 8 a.m. on his calendar. Okay? So Vince wrote, on a streamline, and I'd like your feedback, ladies and gentlemen. This is a test for you as well. And so the first person that chimes in, please do. So we're unmuting everyone to make sure you're open to talk, except Mike Troisi, who really don't want to have the ability to talk. Mike, you're unmute. You're open mic, Mike. And welcome back to the calls. So Vince has a question. On a limited streamline, all utilities off, old water heater, 1993, old gas furnace, 1993, in disrepair, do I figure in money for replacement or servicing? Okay, so I know what my answer is. Who wants to give me theirs? Just chime it out.
Replace.
Replace. Replace.
Thank you. Yes.
Replace.
Replace. You have to understand, Vince, and for those of you who are new to 203K and have an apprehension because you still are thinking with your home inspector's hat on, you are the eyes and ears of the lender and the borrower and the federal government. The utilities are off. You have a 15 to 20-year-old heater in disrepair, visible disrepair. You have a hot water heater that has missed its mark. When the utilities get turned on and you've only budgeted $500 for repair, if it's a limited or streamlined, let's say a limited that's up to $30,000, with a 10% contingency, will you even have enough money in the contingency to replace that heater and water heater if you don't budget to replace it in the write-up? Will you, Vince?
Actually, I put in 20%.
Okay, so 20% would be $6,000 on a $30,000 limited. So if you're having to replace a furnace, the cost in my market for replacing a furnace is about $3,500. And the other cost for the water heater in my market is $900 to $1,100. That doesn't include any other repairs that might come up. You will have exhausted 70% of your contingency on those two items that in all likelihood should have been listed as mandatory replacement due to the risks that are involved with that. Does that make sense?
Yes, that's gonna throw them up out of the streamline limited into a full power because they got paint, lead paint.
Okay, so lead paint, and so it's going to push them over the top of the limited. So now, what is our responsibility? Our responsibility is not to be like everyone else. We are not real estate agents who try to fit a square peg in a round hole. How many of you have ever seen that? When an agent's tried to force a person into a property? Raise your hand.
Yeah. Right.
Okay? Our job is to be the blind eyes of justice. Have you ever seen in the courtrooms, outside of a courtroom, they have a statue of a blind lady holding the scales? Okay?
Yep.
Justice is blind. We are blind to whether or not it's feasible. It is not our job to make it work, whether it can or cannot work. Okay?
Right.
Our job is to tell them this is how much it's going to cost, this is what it's going to take to fix. Now, if they say to you, well, if you don't make me have to replace this heater and if you don't make me have to replace this water heater, I could be able to get this loan. And then if after closing there's massive plumbing leaks or there's something else with the electric that's wrong, you won't have enough money to do those repairs if the water heater and heater have to both also be replaced, will you?
Right.
Okay.
Right, and the roof's covered with snow, and you can't see it. You know it's an older one. They seem to think it's good for 5 years for the contractor.
So you're saying it's an old roof currently covered with snow, so you can't even assess what the condition is. That alone could exhaust your contingency.
Right. Right.
So you need to err on, because let me just say this much. All of you know how very litigious our community is, our world, our nation is, unfortunately. If after closing, if they say to you before closing, well, we really don't think it needs to be replaced, we think it could get done just as well with repair only, and after closing, other repairs come up, the contingency is exhausted, and they have to come out of their pocket to replace the heater, who do you think they're going to blame?
Well, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Anybody but.
Does someone want to have a comment? Who wanted to chime in?
They're going to blame the consultant.
They're going to say, well, even though I wanted it to be repair only, you should have told me that I should have made, they'll blame you and say, well, you're the consultant. It was your job to tell me that it should have been replaced, and you should have insisted. Can anybody see that conversation taking place?
Oh, yes.
Yes. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So you have to be blind to what the borrower wants to do, and you must be totally neutral. I believe I was talking to Paul Starren earlier today, and I have a client. He can qualify for only $100,000. For those of you who are on the tech call, and I shared with you the sketches that I'd gotten, okay, from the contractor, actually from the borrower. Remember those sketches? Okay.
Oh.
So remember, so that project was a $150,000 project just for the repairs. The repairs were more than he could afford in his mortgage. So it was. Now he had a contractor who said was going to do it for 94. I said, I'm not writing a loan for 94 that's a $150,000 project. I won't do it. And so the real estate agent called me up. I said, no, I can't do that. He said, oh no, I saw the home. I agree with you, but he's mad at me and he's mad at you because he really wants the house. I said, well, that's unfortunate because I can't help him get the house in this condition. So I said to the agent, but what I can do is I can get his deposit back because I can write a letter and send with the photograph and state that the cost to rehab this property is going to be over $150,000, and that is outside the appraisable comps of the neighborhood and outside the borrower's qualifying of the mortgage. And he'll be able to get his $2,000 deposit returned based upon failure to obtain mortgage contingency. The real estate agent didn't know that I could provide such a letter that could get his deposit out, and now he thinks I walk on water. You're the best. You're amazing. I'm going to send you some home inspections. I can't believe you did. You'll do this for me. He thinks I'm doing him a favor. We can do that any time, gentlemen and ladies. We can make them be able to get out of the deal and get their deposit back as long as they have not exceeded their mortgage contingency deadline based upon failure to obtain mortgage. We can get them the ability to renegotiate the sale price based upon failure to obtain mortgage. However, if the house is being sold for $28,000, even if he gave it to him for free, he still couldn't get it with this loan. Okay? So there you go. So now, Vince, did that answer your question?
Yeah, it sure does. I think I'll put that in the recommended, or should I just go ahead and go mandatory on that list?
Exactly. Change it from recommended to mandatory.
All right. You got it. Thank you very much.
Any other questions we can help you with?
Of course, but I don't have them written down here. I don't know.
You don't have them written down? Now's the time to have them written down. For those of you who are bronze level members like Vince, this is one of your best opportunities to bring your questions to bear. Okay?
Catherine?
Yes, Tom.
One of the things I try to keep in mind when I've got a client that's wanting to do something or trying to leave something out, I remind them, what's it going to be, what's the resale value going to be if you leave this out and you have to take this to market?
Exactly. What is your resale value going to be?
Yeah, good point, good point.
Okay, so now that you've got that under wraps, let's show you. I want to show you something else. So before we get started with Bill May, Bill, you're going to be next up, so prepare yourself. Some of you had asked the question about how you could be able to see me on or see my live posts. All you have to do is like me on Facebook, and my Facebook name is Catherine Hall Brooks. It's my married name. I haven't been able to change it. I'm trying to. I just haven't had a chance to do the paperwork for Facebook to get my name changed. So I'm going to send this to you in a chat right now, everybody. Okay, so that's how you can friend me on Facebook, and you actually can see. So this is when I actually did a radio interview last week. And no, I'm not wearing red, guys. I'm in my work clothes for my home inspection company, which the colors are blue. So there you can see I did a radio talk show, and here, I don't know if I can play the audio. Let me see if I can put the audio in. And on our way to so I'm sitting here in Mercedes-Benz, and last of 3 stops today, we're going to go to teach them about 203K. Yes. And since we're expecting a major snowstorm tomorrow, we just want to tell people, don't worry about getting milk, butter, and eggs. It'll keep, but this information won't. That's correct. So come out, join us at RE/MAX Affiliates on Frankfurt Avenue for the 203K training. We'll see you there. We'll see you there. So I'm sitting here in Deanne's gorgeous Mercy. Yes, I am. Okay, so that was last Wednesday, okay, and before that, this was when I recorded in the film studio. I don't know why the audio is not working. And that's not working, so that's weird. And then before that, that was the picture that I posted that day. And here, let's see if this will work. This is part 2 of my day. Here. I'm down here with Mark Cumberland and again, Deanne Katsaris. And we're about to film a radio program, radio talk show. So I am hoping that I can get a copy of it so I can share it with you guys later. So, Mark, say hi to everybody.
Hello, how are you? Good to see you.
So we're live on Facebook, and so we're getting ready to record this audio segment. Yeah, what are we going to talk about today? I don't know, Catherine. What are we going to talk about? I think we should talk about 203K. Well, hey, she said we could talk about 203K. What a concept. All right, so that's what we're going to talk about now on the radio show. Until the next time I check in. Take care. So, this was a... Hey, everybody. This is Catherine Hall, and this is part 2 of my day. I'm down here. So that was part 2 of my day, okay? And part 1 of my day, so I recorded 3 times, 3 videos in one day, and the first one was at the Keller Williams Northeast. This was the first one that we did first thing in the morning. This is Catherine Hall again, and I am here at the Keller Williams Northeast, and I'm getting ready with the help of Deanne Katsaris of Green Tree Mortgage for our first of 2 real estate office trainings on 203K. So what we've done is, if you can see, we've set out packets of information for each agent, and including our very popular flashlight keychain. And now I'm walking around to see the beautiful food display that Deanne has set up. Here comes Deanne herself. Everybody say hi. You're live, Deanne. Great. Hi. So this is Deanne Katsaris, the Mortgage Mom, and you can reach her at www.mortgagemom.net. So let's go check out the food she's got for us. So now we're going to be having a lot of agents today because the weather's amazing outside. It's like 58 degrees and sunny. So look and see what Deanne has given us. Yummies. So look at all this great food. So I'm actually looking here at hoagies, which I won't be eating any of, and potato chips and other goodies. So stay tuned. We're going to be broadcasting again once we get the meeting going. Bye. Now, I started I recorded 4 videos that day. The first one was getting ready to leave my house, and this is my home. And I'm going to let you walk with me through this entire day. Today I'm going to be marketing 203K with one of my favorite agents from Green Tree Mortgage, Deanne Katsaris, also known as the Mortgage Mom. So check in later for more videos. I'm leaving my home now, on my way to making a day for 203K. Visiting 100 agents. See you soon. So now, how many of you here, by a show of hands, know how to use Facebook Live with your cell phone?
No.
Okay.
No idea.
No idea. Okay, well, guess what? On the Power Team Tech Call next month, in March 2nd, 8 to 9 a.m., 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, I'm going to have all of you have your cell phones out. Make sure you have Facebook, the app, on your phones, and I'm going to show all of you right here on the webinar how to record a Facebook Live. Sound like a plan?
Yes, it does. First of all, send us out how you put Facebook on your phone.
Okay, we will make
Thank
sure.
you.
We will make sure that, Mike, will you please make sure that you put together a video on how they can put Facebook Live on their phone? Okay? So here is an article from an agent who was at the meeting, Confessions of a Realtor. She had just learned about the 203K for the first time, and she wrote a post where it says, but with the 203K loan, just came out of class, you can make the house over and it will be included in your loan. I'm so excited about that. Shout out to Deanne Katsaros for getting Catherine Hall to come out and train us. If you want to renovate the house you want to buy, comment below me. So now an agent completed a training, and thanks to Facebook, she marketed to her Facebook audience to get them to speak to her about doing a renovation. So she's getting people to respond to her saying me to get her to call them up to talk about her helping them get a 203K loan. Now, is that how you use Facebook? Absolutely.
You bet.
Okay? So this was right there that same day. Now, you can see this is Donald Stafford. He is the director of the West Oak Lane Community Development Corporation. Caught some of the episodes today. Nice production. So you can see these will be watched by your base. People will look at these. A big icon pops up on your screen that says someone that you are following is filming a live video. And people just can't help but look. You can see it's only like, what, 45 seconds, 60 seconds, 45 seconds at the most. Quick, fun, and easy to do. So I want all of you to think about the three things that I'm talking about today are, one, 203K is big and popular now, and lenders are investing a great deal of money to make it a primary part of their world, and we should also. Two, with social media and technology, you can make your ability to get your word across to people literally free and fun. And three, there's nothing we can't do if we network together. Those are the 3 points that I want to drill home today for you all. So now, Vince, did that help you today?
Yes, it did, Cousin. Thank you very much. Appreciate
You're welcome. You're welcome. Okay, so next up is Bill May, and Bill had also posted, and Bill actually had to leave, it looks like, and so he had left a question. Any thoughts on adding the MPS checklist to Genesis? Yes, we are. We're going to be adding the minimum property standard checklist to Genesis. We're working on it, but what we're going to be doing is we're going to be putting it into the borrower's portal. We're going to give it as a tool to the borrowers so that when they're looking at properties, they can get an idea on whether or not the property would go, how far it would go with the 203K. And we're going to push the borrowers to using your copy of Genesis. So the thing will be that you're going to offer the minimum property standard report checklist to your borrowers and your agents by extension. You can make them borrowers as well, so they can have their own login on your Genesis and they can use it when they're walking around properties. And we're actually going to try to make it so that when they go through a house and they check off what they think is or is not an MPS item and it completes the report, it will automatically send that report to you to let you know one of your prospective home buyers or prospects has used Genesis to evaluate a property. Do you guys like that idea?
Yeah.
So you guys are unmuted. Tell me if you like it.
Yeah. Sounds interesting.
Okay, so the goal is to drive traffic to the NAFAC site, to the Genesis system, and we're going to be, I'll be working this year to get some national advertisers, and I've mentioned this previously. I'm talking to Pella Windows about advertising on the landing page for the lender, for the contractors and the borrowers to promote their products to the people who would be buying it for their projects and get them to help fund some of the construction costs of this software so that it comes off of my back a little bit. And so that's what we're working on. Okay?
Any lenders?
I have not been successful at getting lenders to want to market at this point, and I did talk to a couple of lenders. They're interested in using Genesis or having the consultants they work with be mandated to use Genesis. Yeah. Definitely that's on the table right now. But what I'm trying to do is once I can show the lenders how broad our base of buyers is, and that's going to be up to you guys encouraging buyers to log in. Once we have a larger base of buyers in our database, then I can say to the lenders, hey, look, I've got 20,000 buyers around the country logging into this site, checking out properties with the MPS, etc. How would you like to market to these buyers to potentially use you as a lender? So I've got
I got you.
It's kind of like the cart before the horse kind of thing.
Yeah, good approach.
So if I build it, they will come. That is my concept for this whole project. Okay?
Yeah.
Chad Dunham, you're up next. Unmute yourself. Go for it, Chad. Hi, Chad.
Hey, Catherine, how are you doing?
Fantastic. What's going on?
Not much. Got that one story that you want me to talk about, and I'll get there in just a moment. I actually just had an email come across from a contractor that he's on constraints, so he didn't get a full bid in. So he's let everyone know that, hey, my prices aren't going to be accurate, so we're going to have to do some change orders on this project because the lender's real hot to get this thing submitted by tomorrow. So interesting situation on that. Quick question, I believe I know the answer.
Okay.
Most of the time, the borrowers are not able to do work themselves unless they have that qualification. What is the actual ruling for demolition?
They're not supposed to do any work at all on that property unless they have the qualifications to do it. Because let's look at demo. And you probably knew this is the answer. If you do demo wrong, you can be making more harm than good.
Right.
You there, Chad? You there? Okay.
I'm here.
Okay, so...
And that was pretty much my thought. And I've got work write-up that I'm going to have to sit down and work on this weekend. And that's kind of part of what's going on. And I'm like, I need to have numbers from the contractor. So it's just one of those that I got to let everyone know the official answer. Because I told them I'd look into it because I wasn't 100% certain on the demolition aspect of it. But
yeah,
thank you for that.
Yeah, it's definitely something that you need to make sure demo, because remember, with demo, you have a dumpster that you have to have. There's a whole lot involved just except in a demolition situation. And let me show you exactly what I'm talking about, because I did a property today that is, where is it? Here it is, right here. Let me open this picture up for everybody to see. Hold on. That isn't the one. Escape, hang on. Hang on. Where's the picture I'm looking for? This one right here. All right, so let me open this with another program. Hold on, I'm going to open this with Picture Manager, because this is exactly what happened, and this was actually done by a contractor to try to please a borrower, and now it's going to turn into a bit of a problem. If I can get it to open. My computer just froze up on that screen. See if I can get it to open. There it is. Okay, so picture viewer. There we go. All right. Here we go. And loading. Action. All right. You see this here, everybody? This was a stone house. It was about 2 feet thick of stone. This was an 1800 house, solid stone. And they originally were only going to tear out this stone wall, okay, to put the floor so she could have a big kitchen, open floor plan. But the borrower said, can't you go ahead and just go all the way up and open it all the way up? And when they did that, what do you think they did?
It's a supporting structure.
Thank you. They compromised the whole house. You see what he had to do? What did they have to do?
Brace the walls.
They had to brace the walls, both inside and out. So this is what she asked him to do, and now what he's done is he structurally compromised the property. The township is now refusing to issue any further permits. They came out to do an inspection of the demo, said you need to have an engineer come out and determine what needs to be done to support. This is temporary supports. This is temporary transfer load to hold. This is just temporary because of what he did to try to please a client. So now this comes under the heading of demo, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, that's beyond my situation. I was got going on. They just want to do like the kitchen cabinets and stuff.
I would say that, and if you pull the cabinets off wrong, you can damage studs. You can rip wiring out. There's a plumbing behind there. There's heating ductwork. There's a lot going on. Tell your client no, because
Gotcha.
the little bit of money that they think they're going to save will end up costing them.
The $1,000 that they're going to save is going to cost $5,000.
Yes. So here you can see All the temporary supports, and this was just today's inspection. These are all the temporary supports we had to put up because they had tore out everything.
They look at the programs that are on the weekends, see guys swinging a sledgehammer. Yeah, well, those guys know that, yeah, that's all for show.
Well, this is the contractor, and he knows, he's very knowledgeable, but he didn't realize that I'm not paying him for none of this because he did all of this before getting approval from me, from the lender. So now we have to, now we do have a $25,000 contingency that they can dip into, but first we haven't even started work. This was the very first draw, and I come out there and this is what I found.
Oh, Jesus.
Okay, so this is what I found that they had done to this property. All because they wanted to open up and give themselves more floor space. Do you see how thick that stone is?
Yeah.
So go ahead, Chad, continue. So I just wanted to give you, you know, that's one of the things I'm so proud about our organization. I'm out here doing this stuff with you guys every day. When you have a question like that, I can not only give you my opinion, but I can show you case studies that prove what my opinion saying is real and makes sense. Okay?
Yep, understood.
Okay, so
1800.
1800, yes.
So 217 years old, and they didn't think that maybe they were building them different back then before they started demo?
Well, they look, this is why, gentlemen and ladies, we have a job, okay? This is why consultants are needed. So congratulations, you're valuable. Okay. So go ahead, Chad.
Well, that answers my question, and as I said, that's pretty much what I was thinking. So to continue on with the little bit of lender story, my story is going to be pretty brief. Catherine's going to have a whole lot more to say on the topic. What happened was one morning I had a call from a lender, the loan disbursement officer, and she had a question about another consultant here in the state of Illinois. Where from, I do not know. That wasn't disclosed to me. But anyways, the consultant was actually going through and pretty much trying to dictate how they're going to get paid. It's like, okay, we need to get paid for this, or it's like all this money's in there, and then there's a thing about duplicate work write-up, so they didn't need to have money for that. So then they were trying to do some stuff with the change orders to try to get everything paid that way. And she didn't feel comfortable with what was going on, so she reached out to me since I've done several projects with them. And I answered a fair amount of her questions, and at the end of the conversation I said, I've got a 203K coach, and she'll be able to answer a lot of these questions better than I can. So let me get you in contact with her. So from there I had a conversation with Catherine, and I told Catherine the little bit I knew. Catherine ended up having a 45-minute discussion with the lady, and they got everything sorted out. And at the end of it, the lender, she really felt empowered about like how much control and power she has in the entire situation. Anything beyond that is going to be more of Catherine's story.
Well, my story is that I had a 45-minute conversation with this individual, and again, like Chad said, I refreshed her memory as to her power as the lender. You own the money. You have the keys to the door. And I also basically coined a phrase that I want all of you to take to heart and memorize, and I'm actually going to be making a bumper sticker for it, and we're going to be putting it in your packets. All of you will be getting a bumper sticker shortly. And the bumper sticker says, all NAFAC consultants are HUD-approved consultants, but not all HUD-approved consultants are NAFAC consultants.
I like
and
it.
That makes a huge, that for her made a huge difference. And the conversation that you have about that is, as a lender, as a real estate agent, as any professional, you invest in your education, you invest in your skill, by being a member of a national association or some sort of a trade association that provides you coaching, mentoring, support, and information. We are that association for HUD consultants, and it is a voluntary membership that I invest my money in to continue my growth in this industry, to show my seriousness in this profession. And when she heard about that, she's like, I want you to meet with the owner of our company. We want to grow 203K. We're about to take on 15 new disbursement officers. That's how much we want to get into this. And I want to talk to the owner of the company about having you coming out and train all of our staff in what to look for in a work write-up, what to look for in a draw package, and basically have it so that you can talk to the president about making NAFAC consultants our consultants of preference, so that if there's a NAFAC consultant in the area that they could use, this lending company, I am working to get them to say to their borrowers and their brokers, you must use a NAFAC trained consultant if there is one in the area to work with. And if not, then you need to recommend that the consultant that you have in that area contact NAFAC about becoming a member. That's what the goal is. And thank you, Chad, for introducing me to that agent so that and I could basically help spread the word to another person. And I made her life happy because now she's not dealing with a consultant and letting him dictate terms to her.
Yeah,
Chad,
correct.
What can we ask you about moving forward for the next call?
I haven't sat down to figure some of that stuff out. I've been kind of busy getting a few projects started, getting a few closed down, trying to do the inspections. Essentially, it's more marketing, and I've talked to a couple of local lenders that sounds like they really want to get into this as well. They've got all the credentials and everything, but they don't have anything. And I've talked to them about doing some presentations for them. I said, I've got a list of presentations I can do. If you get everything set up, you ask me to come attend, and I'll be happy to stand in front of the agents and talk about this stuff.
And who do you think paid for those hoagies and chips and sodas?
It'd be them if they ever have me do that stuff for them.
Exactly. So do you think I came with anything except a stack of handouts for the agents?
Nothing but a smile.
Nothing but a smile. It's a beautiful way. If we go to a real estate office, what do we have to bring?
Goodies.
Everything.
Everything. Yeah, goodies, candy, cake, cookies, you name it. We're dropping a load of money on Panera.
The calories, the better.
What? Yeah, the more calories, the better. Put
No, the emptier the calories, the better.
You said the fewer the calories?
No, the emptier, like
the emptier, yeah, the emptier,
sugar.
the donuts, the pastries, yeah, exactly. The emptier the calorie, the better. Exactly. So, Chad, so we're going to ask you if you've made any headway with the lender to, and you might want to offer, you might want to be able to do this. Ask him what real estate offices does he have a presence, and then simply.
And that's part of the discussion that I had was. What offices are you in? It's like, oh, we actually have satellite offices and like multiple other offices. It's like I'm in here quite a bit, dropping stuff off all the time. So a lot of people in the area know me. It's just they're not calling me as much. That's part of the reason for doing this stuff as well.
Exactly. And don't forget, everyone, you have your 203K success supplies. Every month you can print off the success supplies, and we're going to be offering you the opportunity of letting us print them for you. Drop your USPs in, put your contact information, and we will print we'll print your material for you and deliver it to you with your monthly success supply in quantities of 100 or more, in quantities of in groups of 50 from starting at 100. So we can print your success supplies for you, and so for all of you, you go to the 203K Power Teams, you type in 203K. For the next 2 months, it's the word bloom, 203K capital B, L-O-O-M, like blooming flowers, with the B capital.
If you check your monthly success supply newsletter, in there is a advertisement for the for us to do your 203K today or your Have Some Fun page.
And so here you can see in the 203K Success Supplies, if you are a gold, diamond, or silver level member,
the password for that is 203K SGD with the S, G, and D capitalized.
And there's special additional information for gold and diamond level members only, and they know their password for that.
Correct.
So here you can see the January Have Some Fun and the 203K Today. the February Have Some Fun, March is going to be up tomorrow.
Correct.
And all of last year, Have Some Fun and 203K, every other month you get two units. So one, you have Some Fun every month, but every other month you get a Have Some Fun and a 203K today. So when I went to the real estate office last month in January, I took the 203K today because it talked about 203K, and I just basically changed it to value home inspections. Now what I do is I get a whole lot printed off because I have a lot of agents in my database. So I'll print this off in quantities of 500, and I actually put them in my home buyer workshop packets as well as my real estate agent packets. So I'm spreading the word to home buyers.
I'll actually put the March 203K today page and Have Some Fun page right now. So in about 10 minutes, they'll be able to go on and download those as well.
So there you can see this was the November one. And Samantha has even put inside to let you know, change your header and your phone number, place your logo here. She's basically made it, and basically what to do, your email address, your USPs, and here it is your contact information. Now we can do all of this for you every month, and we can send them already printed off at our very reasonable price. And in your March mailing, you'll see the order form and information for the pricing for that. So that's a good way for you, Chad, to get the word out. Walk into that office and hand him about 40, 50 of these and say, here, give these out to offices that you visit to spark a visit. And you can actually suggest to him, hey, if you like, I can co-brand this with you if you want to share some of the expense with me, and I can put your name and picture and phone number right in here on my newsletter and brand it directly to you, Mr. Lender.
Sounds
and then
good.
give it out to real estate agents. Okay? That's what I did for the event that I did with Deanne Katsaris, which I'm going to be giving you all out in March. I'm going to give you all the audio recording and the I'm going to give you all the audio recording and all the success supplies, the content of the event. So that was, whoops, that wasn't there. It was the Lunch and Learn flyer. I created this flyer, and then I created it as a web-enabled flyer. And so this is the generic flyer for you all to have, where you put the real estate office you're visiting, you put the name of the lender and your name, you put the date and the time, and you can have a drawing. I gave a $50 Wawa gift card. So this is all ready for you to customize, and it's a double-sided flyer. You print it off, and on the back of it, you put your logo or your partnering lender here and the lender's phone number and information. You put some USPs on why they should come, and then you put another logo or some additional information there at the bottom. And this is a two-sided flyer you hand out the week or 2 weeks before you're actually going to have a lunch and learn. And that's going to be coming out to you guys next month. How does that sound, Chad?
Sounds great.
Okay. Anything else we can help you with?
Nope, that's everything, and I'm actually going to need to get off the call here. I got quite a few things that's happening tonight that I got to get taken care of now.
You have a great evening.
All right, thanks a lot. You
Thanks
too.
for joining us, Chad.
You're welcome. Congratulations on the kid.
Thank you.
Hey, Dan. You're up next, Dan Carroll. Dan, you want to unmute yourself? Dan just raised his hand. Okay. You got to, there you go, Dan. All right. Dan, unmute yourself. Well, when you get unmuted, just sing out. We'll go on to the next person, which is Dave King. Hey, Dave.
Hey.
How are you today? We've already spoken today.
Yeah, we're spoken. I just feel like, oh, well, nobody else was here at the time, but I thought like, well, didn't we already cover this? I've been on the roster a little under 3 weeks, and so I'm just, I'm getting my game on right now, and so this is all good. Hearing where other people are at, and I have a project that the next step is still about 3 more weeks away on that, just because of where it is, but others coming up. But I've got my wheels turning as to how I can approach more lenders with things and agents. Well, especially knowing that the minimum for a 203K is $5,000, and to help agents know about that and drive that home with them, that could help. That could help save a deal if a.
Actually, Dave, that's the minimum for a full 203K.
That's what I meant.
There
Yeah,
is
not
no
the limited.
minimum. There's no minimum on a limited.
Yeah. So what if everything's great except the furnace is 45 years old?
And it costs them $3,500. They can do a 203K for $3,500.
Well, with the property.
Right. Or if there's or if it's a 1940 house and they still have the same rattle windows that that I had with my house when I first moved into it. That's had we been a little bit more aware of it, we might have gone for FHA and tried to get windows replaced in the house. Of course, I'm in a market where we wound up having to go conventional with the prices at the time.
Excellent. Okay, so so now you're taking over a new project. You're taking over a project that was started by another member of your company, and as you can see, Samantha's already posted the Have Some Fun and 203K Today to the site.
Okay, yeah, I see it.
So you are taking over a project from another consultant in your own company, and for any of you who want to know that information, Dave can fill you in, but you just have to fill out a change order form. And that project I showed you where they cut open the wall ridiculously, I took that over from a consultant who did the work right up and then went MIA, and the client never heard from him again. And he was told to find me, and he did, from another resource, and so now I'm taking over it. And so I got $300 for the project takeover fee for putting in the information in Genesis, and then today I got another $200 for the draw. Yeah, I know, Mike, that's right. So Mike Teresi said he was in jail. We would like to hope so. I won't mention his name, but he's someone who is very visible in 203K chat boxes and blogs. But we won't mention his name. So, Dave, are you good to go?
I'm good to go.
Excellent. Thank you. So next up is James Mitchell. James, we've also talked recently, too. I love it.
Yep, we have. And I'm just getting started with this whole thing. And I'm still working on the recommendations you gave me in that coaching call.
Fantastic. Has this call today been useful to you? Help get that fire in your belly going?
You bet.
What can we ask you about next time?
Oh gosh, I don't really have I don't know enough yet to know what to ask at this point.
Okay, so now what is your goal between now and the next All Power Team webinar?
I'd like to have my list of lenders, my target lenders to start marketing to put together and have some marketing material in front of them.
Excellent. Very good goal. Okay, well, you can see right there on the screen some options of marketing material you can put together right now, already done for you.
Yep, I like it.
Excellent. Okay, congratulations.
Yep, thanks.
And congratulations on being a newly certified consultant, both you and Dave.
Thanks.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, Ken Van Dyke. Hi, Ken. Good to see you on the call.
Hey, where are you?
I'm in Pennsylvania.
Okay, I didn't know you guys could hear me.
Yes, we can hear you, dear.
Okay. I'm doing fine. I've just been too busy, I guess, since I saw you in Las Vegas.
Mm-hmm. Well, do you see reasons why you guys need to start carving out a little time in your week for 203K?
Yeah, started. Yeah.
The only way it's going to happen, Ken, and I'm not speaking to you personally, I'm speaking to everyone, the only way you're going to find time to do anything that you believe is going to move the needle for you, okay? We're all trying to move the needle, okay, to take a step forward in our lives. And the only way you're going to do it is if you put it on your calendar and then have the discipline to follow the calendar you've made. For me, the challenge is and you guys have a personal trainer. I'm your personal 203K trainer. I'm the one who will help you. I'm your accountability partner. I had a personal trainer all of last year, and then when I came, and I told him I wasn't going to be able to see him because I spent the month of November in Florida, and then when I came home in December, who wants to be personal training? You want to eat chocolate and cookies. So I didn't renew my contract with the personal trainer yet, and here is now middle of February. I have it on my calendar to go to the gym twice a week, just like I did when I had the trainer. But without knowing that he's waiting there for me, I just don't do it. I say, oh, it's okay, I'll do it tomorrow. That accountability coach, that partner, that person waiting for you to do it, to get it, is what will make a difference. And I'm here to be that accountability partner in the form of a one-on-one coach for one-on-one private coaching calls. In these sessions where we ask you what are the focus points you want to use, have us bring to your attention on the next call. By having you have access on the Skype group, we're here to be your partners. Schedule it and then get somebody to help you be accountable. If you're going to decide Thursday mornings are going to be my day to work on 203K, because I know the second Thursday of every month I'm going to have this webinar from 8 to 9:30. So every Thursday from 8 to 9:30 every week I'm going to work on 203K, either marketing, making phone calls, practicing my Genesis, writing up a report, whatever it takes. 8 to 9:30 on Thursday, I'm going to discipline myself to make it my 203K time. That's the only way it'll get done. Does that make sense?
And seem to register at the moment.
Back. Send him a flyer and call him back. Hey, Samantha, we see
Hi.
you. So call him back and get it registered in his mind that you don't need to worry about calling an arbitrary list of people who you don't know what their level of investment in this process is. Just call me. And if I personally don't work in that market, I can connect you, or I can personally find out from the National Association of FHA Consultants. Can you do that?
I'm going to wait a while.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
you schedule a coaching call, okay?
Great.
All right.
Okay.
Thanks, Ken.
Okay, thanks.
Hi, Lori. Good to see you on the call. You're muted still, so unmute yourself. When you get unmuted, Lori, just chime back in. Ludwig, you're next. Unmute yourself, Ludwig.
Hey, Kathy, how you doing?
I'm doing good, Ludwig. How are you?
Well, I can't complain. Nobody's going to listen anyways.
I will listen. We listen to people complain. That's one of the things we do. We care and we do listen. So what's going on? I know you are working on becoming a Genesis Pro.
Yeah, the software's not too bad. It's just I'm dealing with a home that's over 100 years old, and there's some things I need to go through. I had some minor glitch. I don't know what the problem was with the server, but I kept coming up 505 error code, which identifies as server error. But who knows?
Is it doing it now?
Yeah, it was just basically for 2 days I couldn't get some of the stuff working.
Really, because nobody else had a problem. We had one problem for a couple of hours where we had a security certificate issue we had to address, and we fixed that. And if you notice in Genesis, the stream, but nobody else is having a problem that I know of because no one's commented. So that might be, you might need to refresh your browser and delete your cookies.
Ludwig, you spoke to Howard yesterday, correct? Did that all get resolved?
No, it was already resolved before then. He thought it was a problem with my learning curve on the software. And it wasn't. The problem was every time I clicked on something, it wouldn't open up. And then when I tried to review a PDF report, it would come back as a 505 error code. So I didn't know what a 505...
It might be how you're trying to access it, okay? Because many times if you close the browser, when it opens up like a view of a PDF, so if I hit this to view this feasibility report here, okay?
See, I wouldn't even get a gray screen. I wouldn't even get a white one. I wouldn't even pull it up. It just came up. It says the 505 error code.
That's something with your, and what browser were you in?
I was in 2 different ones. I tried Microsoft and Google Chrome.
All right, because there's a Chrome extension that I'm going to be sending out to everybody in an email that if you use Chrome, you want to add this extension because Chrome garbles up text on PDFs. So so you can see here where it doesn't say to PDF. Before the PDF comes up, there's this whole long string, this Chrome extension, and that's what I had. That's what I had to add to my Chrome. Let me see if I can show you the bookmark. Hang on, bookmarks.
Whatever the problem was, it resolved itself yesterday morning.
Okay.
Looking after that, I even called Michael and I was trying it. You know, I was talking to him on the phone. I was even trying it, and it still was coming up the day before, same problem. But then the next morning, like I said, for whatever reason, I don't know what happened. It's the same laptop, same everything, but all of a sudden it started working.
Oh, it's the same computer, but it's not the same network. So your networks change every minute. Your browser and what's streaming across the internet, that content is different every second. Every second the information coming across can be messed up. So I'm glad you got that fixed. And so what are some of the things we can ask you about? Now you have a question about me reviewing a work write-up that you've done. Absolutely, I'd love to help you with that. I'll be happy to look at your work write-up.
He's scheduled for tomorrow morning.
Okay, what time?
7 a.m.
Fantastic. Okay, well then I'll see you at 7 a.m. tomorrow. Besides helping you with that work write-up, what can I help you be focused on for the next 30 days?
Basically, I'm trying to get more into it. My inspectors now, they're pretty much running on their own, so I'm focusing more on the 203K, and I'm starting getting more calls.
Excellent. Okay, well, you know what? That sense of need will create the desire to get into the software more.
Absolutely.
Fantastic. Well, we'll be there to help you all the way. So here's the thing, guys, and for those of you who, you know, I've had some people say, well, I'm not very computer literate, I don't do well with computer things. I get that. We totally do get that. Absolutely. But guess what? If you don't give up on yourself, we won't give up on you. We will never make fun of you. We'll never lose patience with you. As long as you keep trying, we'll keep trying with you. Does that sound fair, Ludwig?
Absolutely.
Oh, great. Thank you so much. I'll talk to you tomorrow at 7. I don't drink coffee. I'll have my tea. Okay?
You have it with milk and sugar?
Nope, just plain ginger. I have it with ginger and a cinnamon stick.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, no sweetening. Just ginger and cinnamon.
And
so
Samantha, I wish you the very best.
Thank you so much.
My daughter had hers, so.
Oh, that's right. I remember talking to you about it. Congratulations. I'll miss all of you, but I'll be back.
We'll miss you.
Next up is Mike Troisi, a blast from the past. Welcome back, Mike.
Good evening.
How are you?
Alrighty, just multitasking.
Okay, that's a plan. We're glad to have you back on the call. How has your business been since we last spoke?
Let's see. Business still, it came back after the election. It was a little slow here in Florida in November, December. So we had a little bit of downtime. Unfortunately, we cannot blame the weather, but it is what it is. But it's picking up again, or it has picked up again. So unfortunately, I just booked one for Sunday afternoon, but I had to because that's the only slot. But
you chose to.
Yes, I did choose to. You're correct. Now, I did do 2 brand new feasibilities this week.
Yay!
I did one a couple of weeks ago where I knew they were going to die because the sellers were just being unreasonable. And they just contacted me, the sellers, asking what it would take to fix up this house so that we can sell it to somebody else. And I was tempted to say, well, we should have did that 2 weeks ago by dropping the price, but that was another story. The 203Ks are doing well. The feasibilities are coming along. Let's see, who did I just pick up? I think it was Michigan Mortgage. I lose track of all these mortgage companies. But I do have some vendors who give out 1 or 2 HUD consultants. I'm usually number 1. And so that's been really good. And the feasibilities are coming along nice. Unfortunately, well, actually not unfortunately, to my surprise, when I kill a deal at the feasibility, I was a little surprised And I'm still surprised every time it happens when the client thanks me for killing it.
Yeah.
Because it's like, we were so nervous, and you told us what we thought, and you were right. It's way too much money. And that Tom Hanks, Shelley Long movie keeps popping up in our conversation.
Money Pit. I have a whole PowerPoint presentation on the Money Pit.
And people have been saying, I feel like I'm in that movie. And I said, well, here's what I see, and here's what I recommend you take a look at. And they go, we can't do that. It's way too expensive. It's amazing the kinds of damage I'm finding lately between termites, structural, and all sorts of wacky stuff. But the business is coming along. I need to get off my coolie butt and get into Genesis. And
okay.
I have to start doing that. Some guy named Howard, who's probably listening, was trying to Skype me, but I'm multitasking, so I missed most of the messages. I did turn Skype off on my business phone because the 48, 49 dings or clicks in my email I'm trying to work was driving me batty.
Well, all you have to do is you don't have to, and you had mentioned that to me recently. You don't have to turn it off. All you have to do is make it so your status is do not disturb. And that way the dings will still come up, but they won't make any noise, and you won't see them pop up on your screen. When you turn on your computer, you'll be able to see what they are and answer them as you choose.
Oh, there's a thought. I need to have a teenager teach me how to do that. So.
No, you don't. You can handle it. This is not rocket science. Don't make it harder than it is. Okay, don't psych yourself out.
And I do not have Facebook pages.
Okay. We got to get you hooked up then.
No, I'm not allowed. It's one of the conditions of my marriage.
Okay.
No Facebook for me. My wife is actually, the truth is my wife is managing my business Facebook page.
Well,
and so I let her.
Have her be on the webinar. And a matter of fact, ladies and gentlemen, if you have a person in your back office who does your phones or is going to be logging into Genesis for you as a gold and silver and diamond level member, that person is eligible to be on every call that we have, the morning call and the afternoon call. And if they have questions, they're more than allowed to ask those questions. So what can we ask you about moving forward for next week, Mike, next month?
At this time, I don't have any questions. I need to get into Genesis. I need to take a look at those things you sent me or Howard sent me. I'm not even sure what we call them anymore.
They're
links?
called YouTube video links.
Links.
Yes.
I need to get to the links, and I have to start experimenting. I did log into Genesis once on a 2 or 3K feasibility that I was quite confident was going to die. And I think it did die. So I was just going to try to do only the feasibility, but I did not have the proficiency to coordinate through the program. Once I develop that efficiency and proficiency, I'll be able to whiz right through it and save a lot of time.
Once you get the order entered into the system, it's not hard. The system will tell you what to do. It will literally guide you through every step of what you need to do, so you don't have to worry about navigating through it. Most of it's automatically going to be filled in for you. All you have to do is just go step by step by step, finish each step. And for example, the cover page is simple. You just have to have an image. And if you have the image when you put your feasibility in, the image pops up for the work write-up. And the permits, it was already created when you did your feasibility. It'll automatically populate for this. So don't think it's harder than it is. It's no more difficult than the software you're using now. It's just reorganized in a way to make it easier for you to do if you let it work for you.
I will have to work on that. So, I'm a person who grew up with a rotary dial phone, and I actually remember watching the astronauts land on the moon. I'm coming up to speed, and I'm learning how to do this, and I'm getting much, much better. The truth is, over the last 1 to 2 years, I have grown tremendously.
You have grown. Yeah, because I remember when you did your first 203K, and you were on a coaching call, and you were saying, I can't ever get one to go past the feasibility.
That is true, and now I have everything goes past the feasibility.
Exactly, exactly.
And it's a lot of it has to do with the skill set and the communication skills and choosing the right contractor and giving the proper advice.
Precisely. And you've learned well, so I'm very proud of you. Absolutely.
I'm going to self-mute again and monitor, and I'll probably fall asleep in a few minutes.
All right. Well, you go to sleep. Good night. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Oni. Oni, you're not hurting because out there it's only 7:30 at night, so you're okay.
It's the middle of the day.
It's the middle of the day with that West Coast accent. What's going on, Oni?
I need to let you know I have all of my tech calls booked on the calendar through the end of the year. I did that after Samantha.
Woo! Yeah! There you go.
I have blocked out all those 5 a.m. inspections so that I have that time free.
You see that guy? He's in West Coast where an 8 a.m. tech call is 5 a.m. for him, and he's planning on getting up to make it live at 5 a.m. So you guys have no excuse.
Oni's always on the calls. Every call, Oni's a staple.
Oni, how did your webinar do? I mean, how did your live presentation do?
Oh, it did great. And so you told me way back when that if I did this, even if I didn't do anything else, the phone would start ringing. And we actually did more. We've done some presentations. We're making progress with some local agents and some local lenders and have a lot of things working locally. But in case you're not aware, a lot of people think San Francisco is Northern California. It's actually only halfway up the state, and we're in Oregon. So there's 8 hours of California between us and San Francisco. I got a call a couple weeks ago from a lender 2 hours south who said, I was on the 203, the HUD website, and you're the closest consultant to me. And I said, well, let's do it.
There you go.
We're working on, that one's actually a home style project we're working on 2 hours south of here.
And that's a lovely bit of mileage.
But that was with no, I mean, that person, there was no marketing. They just called us up. So it probably comes as a shock to you that what you're telling us is the truth.
No, it's not a shock to me. It's a shock to everybody who signs up and realizes, oh my God, she was right. The phone just rings.
You were right, and we appreciate it. I do have a question. It's not a, it may not be a direct question, but there's a couple times, and I know you've made reference to this before, there's a couple times I'm out doing an inspection. It happened again today. I'm doing an inspection, and the curveball comes up that the heat pump is not functioning. And it's potentially, because we're talking $5,000 to $7,000, that the seller's not going to pay because they don't have the money, and the buyer's not going to pay because they don't own the house yet. And I'm interested in hearing the pitch that you use when something like that comes up, where you can say, well, no problem. Have you looked at a limited 203K?
Exactly.
So
that's it.
Perfect. That's it. You just said it. How many agree that that's all he has to say?
That's it.
Really, okay. I'm in.
So basically, if you have identified that they're already buying with an FHA mortgage, you just basically gave the pitch. Hey, have you considered a 203K? That is all you have to say. And they'll say, well, what's that? And then you're in.
Yep.
Okay.
All in favor?
Yes. Can I inject one thing, Catherine?
Sure, Tom, go.
I just did a home inspection this past week, opened up the electrical box. This was like an 8-room home, built in the late 1950s, opened up the electrical box, had 3 circuits in the house. Thank God the guy who was buying the house was an electrician. He looked at it and went, oh no, he said, I want a rehab, but not this much. I said, hey, have you tried a 203K, FHA 203K? And he went, what's that? So I spent a little time talking about it. We took an extra half hour at the home inspection. And then I said, go online and check it out.
That's all you got to do. And then follow up with him a week later. And, if he is a licensed electrician, Tom, you could have added the little bit of a carrot and said, since you're a licensed electrician, the FHA 203K will allow you to do your own electrical work and pay for the materials, but you just don't get reimbursed for labor.
I didn't think about that. Good point to call next.
That's what you should call and mention to him. Hey, I was thinking about you and your project, and I don't know if I mentioned. Don't say I know I didn't. Say I don't know if I did. You always make them think that you did, okay?
Yeah.
I don't know if I mentioned this or not or stressed it. I don't know if I stressed it enough, But since you're a licensed electrician, or if you are a licensed electrician, you actually can do your own electrical work within the 203K, and the bank will give you the escrowed funds for the materials.
Good point. Good reason to call them tomorrow, because it'll be 6 days.
Exactly. Go for it. Way to go. So next up, Oni. So go back to Oni. Oni, so does that help you?
That helps usually. I'm good.
Are you good now?
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. Robert Tammy, good to see you on the call. Uh-oh, Robert's been sick lately. Are you there, Robert? He might not have unplugged from his breathing machine. Okay, well, Robert's in New Jersey, and Robert is my business partner, and Robert is going gangbusters. He's got no fewer than 3 a week, pretty much at this point, I would say. We're up to about 3 every week, 3 new write-ups, 3 new work write-ups every week in New Jersey. And we're actually looking to hire someone in Pennsylvania to take over my portion of it as I move south to Florida. And don't worry, Floridians, I'm not coming to do 203Ks in Florida, okay? I will be hanging up my flashlight, so I will only be marketing for you to get more business. That's all I'll be doing, so don't worry, I'm not coming to steal your thunders. But Robert is doing amazing things with new ideas on how to market, and he actually got this from MIC organization, working with Keller Williams offices, and we also are an affiliate with, he was already an affiliate with a local real estate chamber of commerce, a board of realtors, excuse me, a real estate association, and so we actually hosted a lunch breakout room, a coffee break room at the Triple Play in Atlantic City with the McCutcheon County of Real Estate Agents, I forget what it is, MCOA, and we got a lot of good interest and a lot of good activity from just standing around handing out little flashlights, keychains, and chocolates. So it was a really good entree, and we're actually not, as a member of a chamber of commerce or a local chamber of commerce or a real estate board, don't market to the real estate agents in that group. Don't market to the agents in the board. Market to your fellow affiliates. Market to the other lenders that are on that list. Market to the contractors who are on that list with you as fellow affiliates. Market to the insurance agents and the appraisers. Let them know what you do and how you'd love to partner with them in working with the agents at that trade association. And that's one thing I learned from Robert. So way to go, Robert, and good to have you on the call. He's been very sick with bronchitis and all kind of problems, so just glad to have him sitting there hearing us. Okay? So thanks, Robert. And Tom Kruger, you're up.
I need some help, Catherine.
Okay.
You talked a little bit earlier about friending you on Facebook.
Yes.
So are we the NAFEC site and what other site?
203K in a box.
Okay.
There's a NAFAC Facebook page, and all you have to do is go to Facebook, and it's NAFAC 203K, or just search right there under the search engine on Facebook for National Association of FHA Consultants, and then it will come up. Can you see the screen?
Yeah, I made a comment back in November, but I haven't been back there since.
I just saw it. It's right, where did I just see it? I did see it.
November 7th or something.
There it is, right there, Tom.
Yeah.
Okay, so I just liked it, and so that's the NAFAC, and then all you have to do there is go right there to Facebook and just type in 203K in a box.
What I need to do is tie my my Facebook, I need to tie my business Facebook page somehow into your Facebook page, and that's both NAFEC and 203K, and I haven't figured out how to do that.
All you have to do is share a NAFEC or 203K in a box post on your page, and then that share will post it back to the 203K in a box page. So here you can see Kimberly McCauley. She actually is in Oklahoma. Yep. I did a session with her, and so what she did was she posted the myth-busting 203K video that I did on her website, and she mentioned 203K in a Box, and so it posted both on the 203K in a Box site and on her own site. So here you can see Kimberly McCauley shared OKC Inspections post about 203K in a Box. So if you share a post, it will move you forward. Does that make sense?
Sort of.
Tom, also, if you go on to the 203K in a Box and NAFX sites and click follow them, that way it'll pop up every time we post something or she posts something. Do you see up here where it says following? Yes. So right there, if you go onto the site, yeah, and you hit following, you can either put see first, where it'll pop up first in your feed, default, which will pop in your feed, or of course unfollow if you don't want to see them anymore. But you
notification on.
Yes, perfect.
For live video.
Okay. So click
follow, and then default, and then
default, on.
And that'll make sure that any posts that we put on there, or any videos that Catherine posts, come into your feed, your Facebook feed.
So, but do I do that in my Facebook?
So you'll go into your Facebook. Do you see how in her search box at the top here it says 203K in a Box, and she searched and she pulled up this page? That's what you'll do. So you'll go into your Facebook, you'll go up to the top here, 203K in a Box, and this will pull up, yeah, she's going to follow you.
So there's you, and I've already followed you, so we're already friends. See that? This is your Facebook page.
Yeah, but how about
it says following? I'm following you.
How about alert home inspection?
Oh, there we go. We can do that too.
I think I'm following that too.
Oh, look at the dogs. So cute.
That's where my logo came from.
Right, and there I'm following you already. See, if you did a video through A-Alert, I would see it on my screen.
Okay, so what I have to do is go in and follow you.
Yes.
Okay.
We all follow each other.
Exactly.
Everybody should follow each other. Okay.
Yeah. Got it. I had not figured out. Things are easy if you once figure it out. It's like the old expression, I know what you're saying, but I'm not really understanding what you said.
Right. And you know what? A picture speaks 1,000 words. That's why video Skype chats, one-on-one calls are so powerful, because in that 30 minutes, I can show you things that would take me 2 hours to explain verbally.
Yep. Real quick.
Yes.
One other thing I went online, went into the EPA certified site.
Yes.
Trying to find contractors that are EPA certified. I think you mentioned somewhere along the line how to go about. Do you send them an email? Do you send them a letter? I sort of limited the number to like a 5 to 10 mile area. Because one of the things
you want to. So I'm confused. Do you want to do what with the lead certification?
I wanted to get a list of contractors because they're already lead certified, as opposed to walking down the street and knocking on somebody's door going, would you like to do 203Ks? I went into lead certification, looked for people that are already lead certified.
Okay, yes.
And said, give me people that are in a 10-mile area. What have you found?
Did you get any clicks from that? That's a great idea.
Yeah, I got a list about 20 or 30, or about 30 or 40 long.
Thank you. Wow, I love that idea. I need to get that list.
And then, but I was going to say, what has been the way that when you've got it, how do you approach them? Do you send them a letter? What's your thought?
My thought would be,
oh
my gosh, here's what I would do, just what you saw Kimberly do. Let me go to this here. Where is Kim's? Oh, I just had it. Let's see. Kimberly McCauley. I can't spell. There it is, Kim McCauley. God bless her, lovely lady. Love working with her. So I got to find that video that was on my page a second ago. And let's go back to here. I would send them the video that I have on YouTube on how to be a 203K consultant. I'd send them an email with a link to the video on, so if I go to videos, okay, I'd send them out the video on the 203K for contractors that we've created and that's on our YouTube channel. I would absolutely send that out to the contractor and say, hey, I'd love to tell you more about 203K. Here's the best way for me to tell you. Watch this brief video, and if you'd like to hear more from me about our opportunities in our area, I'd be happy to talk to you about it at length. And send them out the link to the video, the YouTube video.
Yeah, okay. Because one of the things I think we had when we chatted, one of the things I told you was the fact we were having trouble trying to find contractors that were to bid on a project.
Yes, who are competent, qualified contractors.
Yeah.
I get it every day, yes. So if you go to YouTube and you search on 203K contractors, that should come up in the search engine. Let's see. This is my channel? Let's see. 203K in a box contractor. I don't see the video. There's the minimum property standards. Samantha, did we post that to our Facebook page, the contractor training? If not, let's get it up there, okay? But you can give them the FAQ on 203K presentation. You can do all kinds of things with this. And you could just send them the video. Samantha will find it for you. Samantha or Michael will find that video. I'm just not logged into that account to be able to show it to you directly. But it is a YouTube video on the Contractor 101.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll find it for you and post it up there. Okay? So that's
Super.
your best way to get it. All righty?
Super.
All right. Thanks, Tom.
Thank you.
One wonderful. Yes, go ahead, Tom.
I was going to say, as usual, another great meeting.
Thank you. And you help by being a very good participant. Thank you. Now, one wonderful person, the WW, the double W, that should be the name of a Texas ranch, Wayne Woven. Hey, Wayne.
No, it's Wayne's World. Come on.
Well, oh, my God, Wayne's World. Now, I wouldn't have said that. I would not have even thought that. My gosh, that's a throwback. Woo! Okay, now you're going to have me.
Party time. Excellent.
Yeah, I know. Now I'll be doing that all night, daggone it. Wayne, how are you?
Hey, good. I actually had a new use of a work write-up, actually. I was doing work for a probate administrator who was having problems with the families, and on two properties that were side by side out in the middle of the stinking desert. And so they had me do home inspections, you know, and so while I was going through it, he's like, well, I don't know what any of this stuff's going to cost and stuff, and I just kind of suggested, I go, you know, I could do some work write-ups with you that will be more impressive enough for both the people that you're dealing with and the judge. The judge probably never going to see anything that looks like this. And wiggled out another $400 out of them after side-by-side inspections and extra $200 bucks. I came walking away pretty good.
Excellent. That's a great way to market your business, and it's basically just plain pure money. It's no, you know, you don't have to worry about doing inspections following it or dealing with the loan or anything. It's just flat out, just straight extra cash.
Extra cash, and you're doing about half of a 203 case. You know, it's just a work write-up. That's all I deliver to them, just the work write-up.
That's perfect.
And never heard back from them, so it must have done pretty good for them.
Yeah, I would reach out to them and say, hey, I'm here to do any more that you have any other properties that you need to have done.
Well, I think they were actually one of the family members, so.
Okay. Well, if they'd like to, you know what, you can possibly, they may be a real estate investor or know some real estate investors and say, hey, this is a great service that I provide real estate investors to give them a heads up on what to bid on foreclosed properties or on properties before they put a price in, to let them know what the real cost is for rehabbing if they're not that comfortable with cost estimating. A lot of people are getting into real estate investing and don't know how to estimate the repairs.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I actually told them that if they needed me in court, that it was like $250 an hour, I would be charging them.
I'm loving it. So are you working with Genesis?
Yeah, I did the whole thing in Genesis.
Fantastic. Well, you know, one of the things that I'm actually working with right now is I have a Samsung Tab 7. Here, I'll show you guys on video. Let me get the webcam moving. And if you notice, I just sent you guys the YouTube video, Myth Busting for 203K Rehab Contractors. I sent you the YouTube link so that you actually can watch it or share it with your contractors. Okay, I just sent it to all of you. And so the last thing I want to do is share my webcam again. So I have this Tab 7 by Samsung, and it is web-enabled. It has its own phone number, so it actually has its own, Sprint signal. And I'm actually practicing doing my write-ups right here on the tab. And what I'm doing is I'm actually using the little button to talk text. I'm just talking it in. Provide and install all appliances, all kitchen appliances as per, contractor's write-up. And I'm doing it right in the tab onto Genesis. I'm talking it in.
That's cool.
Wow.
So it's something to start practicing with. Okay, and this is, once again, something that no other software out there can give you the option of doing.
Absolutely.
So, Wayne, anything else we can talk about?
Right now I'm just working on, I just hired a marketing person, so I've been very heavily into training her, although she went to an event tonight without me, thank goodness.
Good. Now, there you go. When your marketing person can do the marketing for you, that's business.
But I do know that the March 2nd, I'm going to be in Boulder at the
InterNACHI
thing, and I don't know what the time and what I don't know if I'm going to make the call or not. I have no clue.
That's okay. It's going to be recorded.
Okay. I'm just like,
okay.
I don't know.
You don't know. It's okay. No problem. Okay. So let me know how that goes, because they've asked us to be a vendor at an upcoming one of those things.
They've been getting a lot of people. There's a lot of people there today. So
excellent. So yeah, let me know how it does, because they've been asking us if we want to come out and teach the inspectors about 203K at that event. And it's funny, whenever I mention it to our members, everyone says, no, don't teach anybody else. I'm like, are you guys kidding?
Well, I think this one's a little smaller. I mean, it's only 100 inspectors per day.
Yeah, 150 per day. 150 per day. It's more than, that's more than some chapters get at their 2-day conferences. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So everything else good?
Yeah.
All right. Well, keep it going. What can we ask you about next month?
Oh, I guess the matter is if I've driven any new business, because I've kind of burned out everything I have. So.
Okay, work it. Start doing some home buyer workshops. It's the spring. People's thoughts turn lightly to home remodeling.
You know where the weather's here the same all year long.
Okay, well, it's not here, so hush up.
Hush up. We're kind of like Florida. We don't rain. It doesn't rain here as much as Florida, but we're kind of like that.
Speaking of sunny southern Florida, Samantha, share your screen and say your farewells to everybody till the end of April.
Hello, everyone. I just want to thank everyone for being on the call today. Yes, this is my last webinar I'll be participating in until April. I will see you all on the April Tech Call.
Or May.
Or May, it depends. That's not how I feel. But I wanted to thank you all for your well wishes. It's been wonderful talking to all of you. I'm going to miss all of you, but I will be back. I will see you all either April or May. Michael Doran, our wonderful 203K Knight. He will be here
He
to
just
help
walked
you.
in the office. I just saw him walk in the office.
Yeah. And that's
And
Howard.
there's
Hi,
Howard, the great and powerful Ross.
We're all together. So, but I wanted to thank you all so much for being on the call tonight. Thank you all so much for your well wishes. The Duchess will be here by the end of next week, hopefully. Fingers crossed. But thank you all so much. I'm looking forward to speaking to you all and having a little one to show you in April or May. We'll see.
Well, Samantha, you know how I am. I can't wait to have you either. I can't wait to have you, a little one in my arms to hold too. So, as I like to say to everyone, until I'm able to support you in the future, say it with me, Samantha.
Be outstanding.
Good night, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Good night. Best wishes.
Thank you. Be safe out there. Buckle up.
Really? That was directed to me, everybody.
Yes, that was really for Her Majesty.
Thanks. Have a good evening.